How's everybody feeling? Everyone seems in good spirits today. Thank you for being here. Um, Today we're going to talk about balanced life. So in the month of July, we've been talking about the pillars of longevity, talking about nutrition and fitness and stress management. And today we're going to specifically talk about keeping those things in balance, or trying to keep them in balance, right? There are certain parts of your times of your life where there's going to be much more stressful, or maybe you're indulging in certain foods and you have to rein it in a little bit, or maybe you're not getting all the exercise that you want to get. But trying for that balanced life in order to have a little bit more longevity. When your life is out of balance, with too much work or too much food or not enough of something, then that does affect your longevity. And other parts of your life might suffer, right? So if you're working too much, maybe your relationships suffer. If you're eating too much junk, then maybe your health might suffer a little bit. And so always like trying to get back to that center. Um, We'll discuss finding balance too within your nutrition. This is mostly a nutrition class, but at least for the pillars of health, I wanted to get a little bit outside of just nutrition. Yes, we're going to have a demonstration. We're going to have a really great smoothie that I created for you, for ThriveWell Divas and Dudes specifically. So you guys can give me a rating on that and let me know what you think. We're going to be talking about too the Mediterranean diet, because it's been shown multiple and much research. It's been shown to be very balanced and contribute the best to longevity. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. And feel free to ask me questions, as I really want this to be like a community situation where if I'm talking, interrupt me and say, hey, what about this? I haven't got to meet you yet. Hi.
Courtney.
Hi, Courtney. Thank you for coming today. This is your first class, isn't it?
Yes.
Your first nutrition class, anyway?
Before when I was doing chemo with, but it was online.
Oh, okay.
So this is like, because after.
You were doing the virtual ones. Oh, okay. Well, it's so great that we're all back together now. So I just wanted to kind of let you know what's going to be happening for the rest of July. Anyway, I'm teaching these classes for the rest of July. Classes normally are going to be at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. But today we won't have the 6 p.m. class just because, again, I'm going to get on an airplane. But normally it's at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Next week, I've got sleep that we're going to talk about as one of the longevity habits, which I think is like which I know is foundational, is making sure that you get enough sleep. And I know in our culture and our society, a lot of people struggle with that just because of the social norms of like you'll sleep when you die kind of thing, but also just because we have so many other things going on, so we have to put that priority back on that sleep. And I've just finished creating that presentation for you, so we'll do that next week. So come either at 11 or 6 p.m. and tell to your other divas and dudes, come to the classes, because then you get to discuss and you get to talk about what you might be facing, or you might be able to contribute some things that you have found helpful. And then we're going to do on my last class in July is stress management and life purpose. I'm specifically listening to, I know I've told you guys on the sleep one, the book that I'm basing a lot of the presentation on is called Why We Sleep. It's by Matthew Walker, if you want to write that down. We'll have a book club. And if you want to have another book club at the end of the month, I'm going to be basing that stress management. Of course, there's other resources I'm bringing in also, but that stress management class will be based a lot on the research, the stress management research that's done by Alyssa Epel, Epel. And she has a couple of books out that I highly recommend. Alyssa, with an E, Elesa, I think is how she spells it, Epel, Epel. She's got a couple of books out. And if you don't have time to read, just go on YouTube and listen to some of that, because she's like cutting edge stress management and how to handle it too, giving you lots of tools about how to disseminate. We're going to have stress, right? But there's positive stress and negative stress. And I'm going to just give the whole presentation right now because I'm all like, yeah, let's talk about that. And then we also have New Braunfels classes. We're building up those classes in New Braunfels. We've got the nutrition classes that Bethany, another registered dietitian, and I teach. We alternate, and those are at 11:30 a.m. on Saturdays, and we alternate teaching those. So we're going to be talking there also. And there's also fitness classes, which we talked about last week too, in New Braunfels and here. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to be talking about getting balance in your life purpose, getting balance with serving others, that love and connection that comes from serving, and your mindset. Again, I'm going to be giving you a lot of books today, references, if you like that sort of thing. And joyful fitness. Last week we talked all about fitness, but finding that joy in the fitness and just doing something that's a movement that you love. We'll touch on that stress management, which we're going to do in 2 weeks. We'll touch on sleep, which we're going to do next week. And then real whole foods, finding that balance in your nutrition with vegetables and fruits and lean proteins and complex carbohydrates, which you'll hear me talk about over and over and over again. And then you get to try the ThriveWell green smoothie that I created. You'll let me know. You can give me a critique. And again, in every single class, I always say, you have the power. You have the power to make the choices that are going to lead to your longevity. You have the power to every day what you put in your mouth and when you go to bed, and if you put down that phone and give yourself the time to take care of yourself, if it's taking breaths or being with your family or doing something that's nurturing to you, you get to choose. And for those of you who haven't met me yet, my name is Brenda Morgan. I am a registered dietitian, a health coach, and a personal trainer. And I've been working with ThriveWell since 2016. It's been a while. I'm so proud of it too. And I love how I've seen the organization grow and all the new people that are coming in and getting helped. I love serving you. So I put my cards there at the back. They have my phone number on them. Feel free to text me. And honestly, I have a lot of divas do that, and just my clients in general, but my divas and dudes will call me, like, you're in the grocery store. Hey, I'm trying to decide between this product and this product. What do you think? I love this stuff. You're not bothering me. I could talk about it all day. We could have a sleepover and just talk about this all the time. So the first thing we're going to talk about is life purpose. Why do you get up in the morning? What drives you what even drives you to be here, to put on your clothes, to put on your makeup? Getting that connection, like we get here in this room, getting that connection with other people. You're serving others, but you're also serving yourself. And how do you serve? It doesn't have to be a volunteer thing that you're doing. Whatever you do in your daily life, whatever you're doing with your family, you're serving. If you contribute to this class or just by being present, you are serving and you're getting to connect with other people. You're in a space here too where you can be seen and understood. And as you're getting that for yourself, you're also giving that to other people. I like the sciencey stuff, as you know. So for those of you who don't know me as well, what hormones are being produced when you're out there serving and when you're connecting with other people. You're getting endorphins. You're getting endorphins for yourself, which are natural pain relievers and stress reducers, and you're also giving those, even just by making eye contact, right? Even by nodding. That oxytocin, that's the love hormone, comes that social bonding and trust the more that we talk to each other and understand each other. And dopamine. We want more dopamine, and not just dopamine that comes from our phone or playing Candy Crush. The dopamine that comes from interacting with other people. And then at the end of the day, that serotonin, that overall feeling of well being that comes from interacting with others and giving. Bless you. I put a couple of quotes up here that I thought were really important. The need for connection and community is primal. It's as fundamental as air, water, and food. That's a Dean Ornish quote. And then Kobe Bryant, the most important thing is that you try and inspire people so that they can be great at whatever they do. So lifting others up also lifts you up. And then I recommend this book by Carol Dweck. Carol Dweck is a Stanford professor of psychology. And this book you'll find quoted very often. The book is called Mindset. And it's basically how we can learn to fulfill our potential is a lot about positive growth mindset. And one of the things that I've been focusing on for myself is fun. Like, why are we here? Like, no matter what I'm doing, how can I have fun? If I'm washing the dishes, how can I have fun? And I've actually have a little alarm on my phone that's like, are you having fun? And I've actually told a couple of my friends and one of my clients, like, hey, when you see me or text me or something, like randomly ask me, are you having fun? Like, whatever. I could be driving. Are you having fun? And it's not just about like, woo, having fun. It's about your mindset. Like, how can I have fun in this moment or see it in a positive way, right? You can call it fun. You can see positive. Like, what's your perspective? That makes a huge difference on how you live your life, but it's also infectious, right? I love to smile. I used to work retail when I was in high school, in college, and my mission every time was like, how can I make whoever just came into that store leave happier than they were? And it's so easy, right? You just smiled at me. I'm just a little bit happier. Thank you. Woo. So that is another important pillar of having that positive mindset. Joyful fitness. We talked about fitness last week and all the science around it and why it's good for you. But how can you make it fun? How can you make it joyful? Just moving, just find that thing. It doesn't always have to be prescriptive. Yes, I'm going to tell you we need to do more strength training at our age than we are. Because we're so used to living in the 80s and 90s and all that cardio. We need to do a lot more strength training because we need that muscle. And so that might be something that we have to change a little bit. But how can you have fun with that? How can you do it with others? And I showed you all the different classes here at ThriveWell that you can participate in. So please take advantage of that. How can you have fun getting stronger? And every time you go to that class, have any of you experienced that? Or you've been working out or you've been going to a class and you're like, hey, this is easier for me. Have you experienced that? Yeah. Over time, it gets easier. I mean, it could be like a year or 5 years down the road and I'm like, oh, I'm not suffering as much anymore. I'm like, this is cool. And then you feel strong and you feel confident and then you can apply that to the next thing too, right? And that fitness can also help to lead to better sleep and weight management too in our obesogenic society. We're tempted all the time. So sometimes we got to make sure. But mood, that mood that I talked about also a lot when I was talking about fitness last week, is, it, you might just be like, listen, I don't want to work out. And you start, and it's okay, I'm going to go. And then you go, and you keep going. And you're like, oh, all right, I'm okay. Let's go. I got this. And then you come back and you check it off the list. And then you feel so much better for the rest of the day or the rest of the evening. So it's just a better quality of life. And even better if you do it with your friends, with other people. Stress management. Whew. Anybody have any good ideas for that? Breathe. I just heard somebody breathe. Yes. And then exercise, you said too. Yeah, exercise is a great stress management. And this, talk it out. That's a great idea.
Get on a plane and go to Fiji.
Just get away. Yes. Sometimes just go and close the door. Just, and you're breathing. Get away. But if you want to go to Fiji, if you have the means and the time, go. Yeah, plan those things for yourself. Something to look forward to is also a really great stress management tool. When over COVID, I had some older clients that I was still like seeing over Zoom and things like that. And they would get depressed because they're home by themselves, as many people were experiencing. And I was like, okay, what can we look forward to? What can we look forward to? There has to be some, even if it's a year or if it's 2 years from now, putting yourself in that place of the thing to look forward to. Oh, thank you so much. I forgot to tell you, pull out that lifestyle guide that I gave you. Everybody's pretty much writing on it already. I was supposed to say that in the second slide. A lot of the things that I'm saying here are actually already on this lifestyle guide that I've created just for you. So thank you for the reminder. But a certain amount of stress makes you stronger, right? There's positive stress. There's, like lifting weights, but also like some of the life things that you've been through. What difficult situations have you been through that at the time you were like, I can't, it's not okay. But now you can look back and go, oh, I'm better for that. Yeah?
Yeah, just, majority of us probably can attest to just being, a cancer survivor or patient and learning about ThriveWell and the community that it has.
Mm-hmm.
How uplifting it is. And it can bring you through some of the toughest times. So.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. Being cancer survivors, that's something seriously hard that you're going through, no matter what stage you were diagnosed in. But then being able to find this community, the ThriveWell community, and interacting, now things are better, and it helps you get through. So even though it's a stress on the body and the spirit and the mind, you're stronger for it, or you will be. I mean, if you're in the throes of it right now, it might be a little more difficult to determine. But yeah, that's a perfect example of going through difficult times and just getting stronger. Maybe having children. Maybe, maybe. I said maybe, and people went, maybe. Yeah. But now, maybe it's better. You're stronger for it. And maybe it might not be better, but you're stronger. It depends on your situation. But chronic stress, if you aren't able to release that stress, like you said, exercise, or with breathing, or with getting away, if you're not able to find a way to regularly release that stress, then it becomes chronic stress. And that chronic stress can and does scientifically lead to health problems, right? You have gastrointestinal problems. It can lead to cancer, to high blood pressure, to diabetes, that comes from stress. So that matters. Yes, we're trying to eat well and drink our water and sleep well and do fitness. All those things help. But consciously making sure that you get that stress management under control is also going to make you better. And I will give you all the scientific papers to prove it. And it also has to do with your mindset, as we were talking about. How are you perceiving these things? Are you perceiving them as a challenge? Okay. Or in a problem solving mindset? Are you like, well, that's it. Everything's terrible. Everything's horrible. Right? You don't want to live like that. I mean, you can. You probably know some people who do. They're probably not at this class. They might be wallowing, right? But you can go in and inspire them too, right? So just bringing awareness to that stress, just knowing that, because sometimes there's, you might be like this, and you don't know. Maybe you're in a mood, and then taking a minute to check in with yourself, like I'm doing with my little fun thing, like, oh, okay, wait a minute. How does my body feel? Bringing awareness to the situation and how your body's responding to it. Does anyone have any other ideas for stress management? Shopping.
Retail therapy.
And retail therapy. I never think of that one because I did not like it. Except the grocery store. I love the grocery store. But yeah, retail therapy. Yeah. And there's the balance. Thank you for getting me back on the balance part of it, because there's the balance, right? Some retail therapy until it becomes financial stress, then no. I mean, let's find the balance, right? Yeah. But a little, yeah, go buy yourself something. Colored pencils.
Something that I try to do, which is again, it's I'm a city girl.
You're a city girl.
I need to have that connection with nature.
Oh.
Like, I'm from an island, and the beach was like 30 minutes from, or 15, 20 minutes from where I was. So I made a point to go at least once a week or once every 2 weeks, just to sit down and listen to the waves and listen to the wind and just have like that alone time outside of the city noise and the four walls that the air conditioning even like breathe like the oxygen, like pure oxygen. So and in here I try to well, not as much, but also whenever I have the chance just to have like go to the park or go somewhere that I can be outside and have that connection with nature.
That's perfect. You were saying that you're a city girl, and I have to repeat everything for the people at home. You're a city girl, and you would specifically go to the beach in order to get that air, to get the waves, to get the sounds, the birds, the seagulls, the everything. And that is a huge, I'm so glad you brought that up, because stress management for me, like, I have to take my walk every night. And it's not fitness anymore. It is like I walk outside and it's, right? Even though it's really hot, so hot. It's more like soup right now. It's so humid. We're in San Antonio. It's very humid. But still, just go outside and just to be out, just like let it go for just a minute. Just take a few steps. It's 5 minutes or 15 minutes. Get outside. And that also, scientific proof, it's forest bathing, right? A lot of people do that on purpose. You go outside to help your mental health, but also your physical health. Perfect. Thank you. And then next week, why we sleep. Everybody wrote down the book, right? You're going to read it or at least skim it so we can have a book club discussion.
I've been doing audiobook.
You've been listening to it? Yes. And if you get a chance, go on YouTube just so you can see him in some of his interviews, because he's so cute. I don't know. Scientists are cute to me. But he's cute anyway. and super, super smart. So he is I think he's UC Berkeley. I just wrote it down and then I forgot. But he runs, so Matthew Walker runs their sleep science uh, center there where they do all the research. I think he's a Harvard graduate and now he's at UC Berkeley, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but he's doing a lot of research there and writing books and telling people about how that sleep, there's another great way to manage your stress too. It's getting that that sleep every night, but making sure that you're getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep has been shown to increase your ability to learn by 40%. When you sleep, your brain is being washed. The cerebral fluid, the brain fluid, is actually washing out all those toxins. And that only happens when you sleep. Sleep is going to regulate your blood sugar for those of you who have diabetes, and even if you don't have diabetes, you want to regulate your blood sugar. And it can help you to recover from exercise or from illness. I know I've spoken with some of you who during and after your treatments, you need to sleep a lot more, right? Depending on what medications you are on. And sometimes those things your sleep can be interrupted too by those medications. So you need to make sure that you give yourself enough time to get adequate rest as much as you can. Helps to control your blood pressure in your heart and the brain. So dementia, Alzheimer's, sleep, right? We have to take that time to reset everything because we don't want that dementia to start setting in. Managing your weight, we'll talk more about this next week, but when you don't sleep well, there are hormones called leptin and ghrelin. And the ghrelin will raise, and ghrelin will tell you you're hungry, right? Have you noticed you get a bad night's sleep and you just want to eat everything in sight? Is that just me? Okay, yeah. Yeah, you don't get a good night's rest. And so that ghrelin is raised, and ghrelin is the hormone that tells you eat. Leptin is the hormone that tells you you've had enough. But when you don't sleep enough, the leptin is suppressed. So you've got two hormones working against you by not getting enough rest. So getting enough rest. When you sleep well, it is going to strengthen your immune system, and it will also make you a nicer person. Yes. It will make you a better mom, wife, daughter, sister, a better everything. So we're going to talk a little bit more about nutrition. And like I mentioned earlier, the Mediterranean diet keeps coming up in all the nutrition research as that longevity diet. It's a sustainable diet that can reduce risk of heart disease, reduce risk of stroke, of all-cause mortality, certain cancers by how you eat. So what is the Mediterranean diet? Has anyone experimented with the Mediterranean diet? Got some cookbooks, anything like that? Familiar with it?
Yeah, a while ago,
Uh-huh.
I used to follow it a little bit.
Yeah. And that's the thing, it's not a strict thing. This is like not a 30-day fix kind of thing. This is how do you eat on a regular basis, which is what I'm teaching you every time I come here, right? Is what is sustainable for the long term. Yes, now we're talking about balance, right? Sometimes over the holidays or on vacation, we get out of balance and we indulge and we have fun with that for a little while, and then it starts to take its toll, like shopping therapy. You're like, we can have fun for a little while, and then we have a little bit too much debt. So nutritional debt would be like, okay, I've kind of maxed out on the sweets here and whatever. So it's not like a diet, like you have to like go back to the extreme. Just come back to your center. What do you normally do most of the time? Most of the time, You're going to be eating fruits, vegetables, whole grains, wheats, beans, nuts, legumes, seeds, the same thing I say every single time. And then if you like and if you can eat seafood, getting in that salmon, those omega-3s are really, really important for our longevity, for your brain, for your heart. And then moderate portions of poultry, eggs, cheese, and yogurt. Um, I would recommend a little bit more yogurt than moderate portions because of the probiotics that come with that. And when next month when we talk about the microbiome, then we'll talk a little bit more about those probiotics and prebiotics. But you want to keep all those bacteria happy. And then the red meats and the sweets, from time to time. We don't want to deprive ourselves if we like those things. If you don't like those things, then you're not depriving yourself. But one of the things that's at the base of that pyramid and what we've been talking about today is physical activity and enjoying your relationship and your meals with others too, right? Sometimes we want to have some alone time and we just want to have time to eat mindfully, and maybe we're not talking and interacting, but sometimes we need more talking and interacting. Just bringing awareness to how you're feeling. If you've been out all day long doing presentations and taking care of the kids and doing this and that and working and talking and people are talking at you, then maybe you just need to balance and have a little bit of time to take care of yourself. You feel that sometimes? Yeah. And that's okay. Sometimes you need this, sometimes you need that. But fueling your unique fire. So whatever it is that you are needing for your activity level, for your life, what works in your lifestyle, but focusing on real whole foods as much as you can. The least processed, ultra processed foods, the better. Yes, applesauce might be a little bit processed. If it doesn't have added sugar in it, that's okay. But we don't want to be loading up on a lot of like pre-packaged foods and stuff like that, because in the end, that's not going to sustain your longevity. And getting yourself a balanced plate. I didn't put a graphic of this up, but I always say, and my children know this, your balanced plate, half is fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables is half. A quarter is going to be your complex carbohydrates, and then a quarter is going to be your lean protein, whether that is poultry or fish or quinoa or tofu. You can be all plant-based, but you still want to make sure that you're getting enough protein. And we especially want to make sure that we're getting enough protein for our age. And because today all of us here are female, keeping that muscle mass. So make sure that you're focusing on getting enough protein. In looking at restrictive diets, I know sometimes, I want to say social media, but it's been happening since I was a child, right? All the books of restrictive diets, the juice fasts, all those things. How do you feel when you're on those? There's a lot of mental conflict that's going on there too, and deprived, I heard somebody whisper. If it's a way for you to get yourself back in line, if it's a little bit of a practice to kind of pull yourself back, from whatever fast food nation thing you've been doing over here, and you're like, okay, wait, I need to fall back in line. But the way that I like to coach people is say, what can we add? We don't have to take all of this away all of a sudden, unless you can, because there's some personalities that can, right? There's some personalities that are like, that's it. Or you have a health scare. That's always a really good motivator, right? But it doesn't have to be a restrictive diet in the sense of calories or hunger or anything like that. Let's find, what are we going to substitute with, right? What are we going to add into your diet? All the things that I tell you about with whole foods, right? So sometimes you want something that's going to kind of balance you a little bit. But you're looking ultimately for a sustainable long-term diet like the Mediterranean diet, possibly. Maybe you want to be vegan. Maybe you want to be vegetarian. Maybe you just want to say, I'm just going to eat whole foods. And for the most part, 80, 90%, I'm going to eat cucumbers and ginger and this wonderful smoothie that we're about to make today. And two, when you're recovering from illness, you might change, or from treatments, you might change what you're eating a little bit. And I know some of those treatments, your palate changes, exactly. They make things taste different, or your stomach doesn't feel it. So just bringing awareness to what is balance for you right now in whatever situation you're in. I really love this quote. Does anyone else know this quote by Michael Pollan? Eat food, not too much, mostly plants. I think it's a good one to live by. Not extreme, just food. And when it says food, that just means real food. It's smoothie time. Are you ready? All right, how many people? We have more people today. I'm so excited about that. I want to make sure that I have enough for everyone. So I'm going to make a whole batch of this, and then if we need more, I will add more spinach. Okay. So everyone has a recipe on the back of your lifestyle guide, because Rosie is saving the environment by giving you one piece of paper. Namaste. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so I'm going to put my gloves on. While I'm getting this set up, does anyone have questions or things they want to contribute? What do you think so far, Courtney?
I'm not even sure. I'm really trying to eat better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I eat terribly bad, but then I'm not great either. So I need something to form things around. Because my kid, he's 13 and he eats what I eat. We're just not eating great.
So you're just looking for ideas to eat better, and you have a 13-year-old, which is really challenging because I bet there's a lot of food coming into your house that you're like, I wouldn't normally eat that.
It's a lot of things I'm trying to keep him away from. It's a lot of things I want him to eat that he won't eat.
Mm-hmm.
My
Yeah.
potassium is always low. I need something to help boost my potassium. My iron is never great. I need.
So getting your nutrients in order. And what I think is great about that is that you even know that you need to work on your potassium and your iron. Just bringing awareness to that and knowing that you're going to feel better. Some people are just like walking around going, I don't know why I feel terrible. But yeah, well, we'll talk more. Take my card also. So these are frozen. You don't have to freeze this recipe. I will sometimes just make it like green grapes and a pear and whatever. I'm making it frozen because a lot of people like their smoothies frozen. So I froze these for you. So we've got frozen grapes. I'm gonna do, nope. See, I was gonna do a double batch and then hand it out to you guys, but I don't think this is gonna fit. So I'm gonna do one batch and then I'm gonna do a second batch. Is that okay? I ask you if it's okay, like you have a choice. And yeah, so 10. So I'm just gonna do one batch and then we'll beef it up and do another batch. Okay, and then, so I froze the grapes and then I froze the pear. I cut this up yesterday, so we're gonna add in some pear. And then we have cucumber. Now, I love using these English cucumbers, and I don't peel it. So this is an English cucumber. This is the one that you'll see in the grocery store with the wrapper on it. Yeah, I took the wrapper off so that I can wash it. You do still have to wash it.
What's the difference between
The English cucumber. So this doesn't have big hard seeds in it. And for me and for a lot of people, the peel is much more palatable. So it's not as thick. So like,
I like the little ones.
the little
mini
tiny
ones.
cucumbers.
The minis.
Yeah.
I think they have more flavor than the other.
Yeah, it's almost like getting like baby spinach or baby whatever. Like they're a little bit sweeter. They have better flavor. I really like that idea. And that idea is really good for this recipe too, right? Because then you can just use what that's good. I'm going to go. I haven't bought any of those in a long time. Those little tiny cucumbers. That's a great idea. So I'm just going to make, so for the cucumber part of it, I just kind of eyeball it at, it's about a half a cup or about 3/4 of a cup, as much as you. So we're just going to go by experience here about how much I know has worked for me in the past. And I am putting all of this into, I'm going to use a NutriBullet, but you can use a Vitamix. One of the things that I think is really important is a lot of people like to do juicing, which is going to give you good vitamins and stuff like that. But what do you hear me say all the time? Fiber, 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 fiber. Right, right, right. Yeah. Plus, it's going to make you feel fuller for longer, right? If you take all out, if you just juice it and you just drink that, you're going to get some vitamins, but you're not going to get the sustained fiber and all the benefits that you get from that. And your blood sugar is going to spike up and then it's going to crash. So we're going to have this today and not spike our blood sugar. And we're going to get all the nice fiber that our microbiome is begging for. I feel like I need more cucumber. Okay, and then we're going to use 1/4 of an avocado. This is for our healthy fat. And any of these things that you don't like, for the most part, you can omit them. And then you can switch things out. So like for the grapes, you could use a kiwi, if you like kiwi, something different. For the pear, you could use like an apple, if that's what you have. Like sometimes, whatever I have in my fruit bowl, then I'm like, oh, okay, I don't have any pear, I have an apple. So that's what we're having. And then power greens. You can use spinach, you can use kale. I like to use the power greens because I just kind of feel like I'm covering all my bases. This has baby spinach, misuna, chard, and baby kale in it. Lots and lots of nutrients, but you can put whatever greens you want to put in here. So the order that I'm doing it in, for at least for the NutriBullet, this works well for me because I've got the heavy frozen stuff at the bottom. So when I turn it over, it's going to kind of press it down. But if you're using a Vitamix, it probably doesn't matter as much. So I'm just going to use as much greens as will fit in what we have left. You can call it a handful if you want to. I said a cup. That's probably about a cup. But I'm going to press it down because I'm trying to feed a lot of people today. Okay, and then our flaxseed. Why are we using flaxseed? What is that good for? Does anyone remember? Say it. Fiber. Flaxseed has good fiber in it. Yeah. What else? Digestion. Yeah. It's great. I mean, flax is just, it's a healthy fat. It's got the omega-3s in it. It's got great nutrients. The list is so long. We could do a whole class just on flaxseed.
Is there one that you recommend more than others? I mean, at H-E-B or Costco?
Flaxseed, you mean?
Yeah. Or
No.
Just do you have one brand that you prefer over others?
No, not. There's no brand.
There's no brand, just flaxseed,
Because
flaxseed.
yeah, really, I haven't noticed a quality difference. Now, I guess we're pretty lucky too, because most of the people that are producing flax seeds would be like, H-E-B, their stuff is normally very quality. But there's 2 other brands. There's Spectrum, which most of their stuff is very quality. And then there's Nativa, I think is the name of the brand. So there's not that much to choose from, and the people that do produce them are good. I would say though that flaxseed doesn't hold up to heat very well. So if you buy it, I would put it in the refrigerator or at least in a cool, dry place.
So how shelf stable is it? How long will it last if you put it in the refrigerator?
If you put it in the refrigerator, it should last. So you can either buy flax seeds pre-ground or you can buy them whole. If you buy them whole, they'll last you much longer. But then to get all the nutrients out of it, you want to put it like in a coffee grinder before you use it. So that's normally how I do it. Or especially over COVID when we were home anyway, then I was just like grinding my flax seeds. But sometimes when I'm in a hurry, then I'll get the ground ones. But to answer your question, so this not being refrigerated is saying that it's going to last till January 26th. And I probably had it. Yeah. So it'll last a year. But I mean, just to get more nutritional benefit,
Right.
you can put it in the refrigerator or a cool, dry place. Like if you have a closet or a cabinet that, I mean, most of us have air conditioning, probably too much air conditioning, then it stays. But yeah, it'll last you for a while. Okay, so I put in a half of a tablespoon of flaxseed and then protein powder. You can put in protein powder or not. I really like the flavor of this one. It's a plant-based one. It's a pea protein. If you prefer whey protein, I didn't bring that to class because I know some people the milk product doesn't work well for them. But this one is Vega. This one's plant-based. I like it too because it's simple ingredients. If you look at the back of many protein powders, the list of ingredients is quite long.
Yes.
Have you noticed?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so confused because I've been hearing about protein powder and protein powder with collagen.
Uh-huh.
And I was perusing the aisles of the store and I thought, I don't know where to start, where to buy. You know, it's
It's
confusing.
really overwhelming.
It is.
So it can be really confusing to buy protein powder in general. And my answer to most people is, well, just call me. But I can give you a few brands that I know are good, that are cleaner than others. So this Vega is really good, but it's a vegan one. It's pea protein. Whey protein, Orgain, I tend to recommend Orgain. You don't like Orgain as much? Okay. And there's a thing too, sometimes there's flavor things that happen. Like, I mean, there might be one that you're looking at the back, looking at the ingredients. You want to look for, as much as you can, just the protein without artificial colors, without artificial flavors. If it gets too overwhelming, I would just say the shorter the ingredient list, the better. That's probably like my best advice to you. But honestly, take my card. I can help you. Pea versus whey protein. So my master's thesis was on protein intake and muscle retention in older people. And I looked at that a lot, and most of the experiments are done with whey protein, but the pea protein seemed to hold up just as well as far as like being absorbed into the muscle and being utilized by the body. You have to find what works for your body. Like I said, there's some people that don't do milk, and so the whey doesn't work for them. But the whey protein seems to be very absorbable. Like it can be utilized by the body really, really well. Did I answer your question? So the answer is yes, either one. But if you can't do dairy, then yeah. So WHEY. Yeah, and that's what it'll say also. But yes, it's really overwhelming to go and look at protein powder and you're like, and you spend like 15 minutes and then you go, I have to go home now. Really?
What about if they have collagen or
I would recommend, especially for us, I would recommend collagen. Yeah. If you want to get that in it, I would get the collagen because that is what's going to hold your skin together. That's what's going to hold your bones. I mean, your whole body together. And it's just going to keep getting depleted as we get older. So I don't see, and if your stomach can handle it, then I don't see any reason to not do collagen. And I'm talking too much, and so I do not know what time it is. Okay, we're okay. I want to feed you. That is my purpose in life. Okay, lime. So here, I'm going to put some lime in this. And you're barely going to taste it. It's just going to help it keep its color, and it'll just give it like a little bit of brightness. So I'm going to squeeze some lime, and hopefully it doesn't go everywhere. Did I get anybody in the eye? It's okay. All right, so there's our lime. And then, really important, you can get this or not, but this ginger root, this is going to give it a different flavor. Some people ginger or no. Yeah. It took me a while to come around to it. It works really well in this smoothie. But the thing that's amazing about ginger is it's an antimicrobial, it's an antibacterial, it's good for your stomach, it's good for everything. This and garlic, but I didn't put it in this. Maybe the next the next recipe will do it. So if you don't know how to handle ginger, basically I'm just going to shave off the skin. I have actually seen people put it in things with the skin still on it. But meh, I didn't know about that.
You can buy a little package that has it all chopped up and frozen.
Oh,
Cubes,
yes. Oh, thank you.
and then you can just pop out a cube.
Those are very convenient.
And that's perfect for this smoothie too, right?
I use that a lot.
So you can buy at the grocery store little frozen packets of ginger, and you can just pop out the cube, and you don't have to do what I'm doing here. But of course, for demo purposes, I have to show you. I have to show you how this works, how this happens. Okay, and so for this, we're going to use about a 1/2 inch of ginger. So this is going to be different in every single ginger root because you might get some that are fat, some are skinny. You'll start to figure out what you like or not.
It smells good.
You can smell it?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, and then I'm going to you can put any kind of milk you want in here. I really, really like this Kirkland. This is from Costco. This is their unsweetened almond beverage, but you can put the vanilla unsweetened soy or almond milk or cashew milk or coconut milk. Ew, that's good. Or just regular dairy milk. Okay, I'm going to eyeball this because when you first open the container, it kind of splashes a little bit. So anywhere from, it depends on how thick you like yours. And then I'm sorry to the sound person, I'm about to start a blender. Sorry, sound, Desiree. Sorry if this is too loud. I will try to move my body. So not so much. So I'm gonna put this on nice and tight. And this might take a second. And I might have to add some more liquid because I'm doing more than I normally do. And what happens too is when you make these smoothies like this is that the nutrients become more bioavailable. You've kind of done some of the digesting. And so when you drink this or eat it or whatever, I like to put these in smoothie bowls. As you can see on the picture, I like to make smoothie bowls because I like to eat my food. Like drinking sometimes doesn't satisfy me. So I'll put like berries or nuts or hemp seeds or whatever you like, pomegranates, seeds on top. I did not come prepared with something to. So are you guys excited to try this? Or does it look too healthy? We have sometimes guests in my house, like my children have guests, and I want to make them like something. I want to inspire them with my healthfulness, and they're like, that looks really healthy. Ooh, thank you. Look at this. I'm like, yes. All right. This one's pretty thick, so hopefully you'll like it. I'm going to put this on to make it easier for me to pour. Came prepared. Does anyone have any questions while I'm pouring and distributing?
So,
So-
go ahead.
So if you were to prepare this and put it in the refrigerator, what would the shelf life be?
So it will start to separate, but when I was working on my master's degree, I would take it in my car in like an insulated thing, and then I could come back a few hours later and just kind of like stir it up. And so what I do if I have leftovers is I freeze it. I'll freeze the leftovers, but you could probably leave it in the refrigerator for a couple of days and still get a pretty, it wouldn't brown very much, especially since it has that lime in it. That'll help it too.